Yeah, I'm in Romania for almost 20 years now. So mainly our business now is for plastic processing, which is taking around 80%. If we are talking about turnover, it's around 80% of our activity. And then we have this new business of plastic recycle.
Management of the wastage in Romania is now implementing a system, digital system, to control the wastage. Actually you have to control everything. Very well, for instance, in ANAF, we are losing about 30% of the VAT every year. Yeah. If we would have digitalization there, probably we wouldn't lose this 30%.
Exactly.
So that means you, me, all of us, we are paying the VAT, but actually doesn't go to the state because somewhere is lost in the road.
Hello and welcome to Complex Made Simple. Today we are having a very special episode in English, as you might already see. I'm having next to me Leon Huang and Cristinel Dobrotă from Romcarbon, one of the leaders in recycling and plastic industry. Hello, gentlemen. How are you?
Hello, Cristi. Yeah, good afternoon.
Hello.
Tell me a bit more about yourself, about the company that you are now part of, and let's keep the discussion around the topics of plastics, recycling, and there are a couple of questions and a couple of topics that are of interest for everyone nowadays, especially with sustainability, with having an impact, and all of those things. I think that we are going to have a rich discussion.
Okay, sure. First of all, thanks for this opportunity. So Romcarbon is a listed company in the Romanian BVB market. So our main activity is the plastic processing, and also we recycle plastic. And beside Romcarbon itself, we have also investment in a group called Green Group, which is a major recycle industry in Romania. So if we talk about Romcarbon, we have an employee around 1,400, and we are based in Buzău. Yeah.
Nice. Mm-hmm. So you are one of the main employers from that area, as I might expect.
Yes. So which means also a bigger social responsibility. Yeah.
Exactly. And you said before we started the podcast, we were discussing about impact that you are having in the community, because you have a lot of employees that are working into your company. Then that meant that you transferred the know-how, the knowledge, the responsibility to them as well, right?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, so it's a nature that when you are working for one industry, you start to learn and to know the importance of this industry. Yeah, so been doing the recycle industry, most of our employees, they're also aware the importance of recycle and also the importance of keeping the environment healthy.
You told me that you now have over 20 years or something like that you came to Romania?
Yes. I'm in Romania for almost 20 years now, yes.
Nice, doing business here. Cristi, tell me a bit more about yourself. How did you enter the company? What are you doing in Romcarbon? A bit more about yourself.
I'm a plastic guy. I'm working for all my life in the plastic business, but I'm for 20 years in the recycling business of plastics already. And this is thanks to Taiwanese investors. I can say that the Taiwanese investors, they come with the idea of plastic recycling in Romania. And exactly 20 years ago, we started the business of plastic recycling in Romania. Initially, it was PET bottles with the Green Group, as Leon mentioned before. And then, step by step, later the Taiwanese acquired Romcarbon, which was a former plastic processor, converter, packaging producer. And in Romcarbon, we developed 9 years ago, we started developing the plastic recycling as well. So in Romcarbon, we are recycling plastic. In the meantime, we are producing plastic products which they are part of our daily life. Not our enemy, is a part of our daily life.
For sure, we cannot live it. We cannot live without it. And as I might expect as a consumer, the solution is not to remove it, because we cannot leave it, but the solution is to recycle it. So as you are doing, I expect a the factory that is doing, or the producer that is doing plastics, also to recycle. Or also we were discussing before that one of the solutions is to reuse the plastics that we are delivering products in, or we are, right?
We have to treat plastic like any other material responsibly. Yeah, this is the key word. We cannot blame on plastic is polluting. We have to blame the people which they are not treating responsibly the plastic. We cannot blame the car because it's polluting, because that car was designed by humans, is driven by the humans. So the key word today is responsibility. So we have to be responsible about this material, plastic. And what actually we do? We take the plastic after it was used, we bring it to our factory, we process it, and then we transform it back in the raw material. And the raw material is used back in the industry for a new product. It depends. For instance, your camera from here can contain recycled plastic. It's very possible. Nothing wrong for this. The car can contain recycled plastic. It's already containing, like any other products. So we just have to keep this material in the circle, like any other material, as I said.
Exactly. From the production, I have a mathematical background, let's say. So I might expect that when you reach 100% of the production is done through recycled plastic, then it means that you are closing the loop, right? You are not producing any more. How much are you right now, or what's the goal?
We have already some products which they are 100% recycled, but we have also products which they are 100% virgin. It's also based on the application. For instance, the food contact products, they are a little bit more sensitive. So, as I said, if we do not treat plastic responsibly, that means the plastic is contaminating during the process. The more contaminated, the less chance to recycle. Yeah? So we have a product starting from 100% recycle, combination between plastic virgin and recycle, and 100% virgin. But I can tell you that lately, since people and authorities, I'm talking about the European authorities, start talking about the circular economy, we have also this Green Deal, which is actually guiding us in this direction. The company, they are more and more interested to include recycled material in their products. And we already succeed to convince some companies in the past 1 or 2 years to accept this kind of products. We prove them the product has the same function. Yeah, they just have to be a little bit more responsible to go in this direction, sustainability.
Understood. So me as a consumer, or everyone else that is consuming any type of plastic, we should be a lot more responsible when it comes to recycling, or how we use the plastics, and then how we recycle it, because it isn't only about sorting the plastic. It's about cleaning the package after we use it, or if it is related to food, sorting it. I assume that it's a very important part, right?
I am going to describe you a little bit shortly what is the flow of this plastic waste, and what will be the responsibility of each actor in this flow. So the plastic product or packaging is produced by a company. So here the main let's say concern of this company, it should be my products to be able to be recycled afterwards. What we see today in the market, we see that actually many companies, they are more focusing on the commercial part. How can I make my products, my packaging to be more, to be easier to be seen in the shelves, guided by the marketing, not by recyclability. This is an important point we have to change in our behavior. Yeah. If we want to achieve the goal of Green Deal, this is the main job we have to do. Then, after utilization, you, me, every one of us here, we are using the packaging or other plastic products, we have to protect it. Put it separately. Don't mix it with the organic garbage. Yeah, protect it. If we protect this plastic, then the plastic should be collected. Here is the job of authorities, which they are not doing too much now in this direction, unfortunately. So it has to be collected, the plastic, and then it goes to the recycling. So if this material, the company producing products take care about the design for recycling, and the humans, the peoples, they take care about the contamination and is collected. Then the plastic can go back easily in the same circle to go back in the same circle. It looks easy. It's not possible to achieve. We just have to do this. But for this, we just have to step aside a little bit of this comfort we pretend we have today. We pretend we have a comfort. We just consume and throw away, consume and throw away.
I know.
It's not really a comfort because it's a lot to discuss about here because it's not a comfort. We just have to step aside of this bad behavior, let's say.
There are some numbers, or do you know some numbers of a percentage of plastic being recycled in Romania, in the market?
Yes, you have this one.
There are some numbers, not very accurate because there is not official record for this, but I can say overall plastics, because plastic, there are many products. Okay, PET bottle, for instance, is the easiest to recycle and is the most recycled plastic in Romania, which can go somewhere between 40 to 50%. But overall,
and that's the most. So one out of 2 bottles. What happens with
it go to the landfill. It go to the landfill.
Oh,
so it's polluting. This is for PET bottles, which is the most recycled plastic in Romania. But if we talk overall about plastic, I don't think it's more than 10%.
That's insane. And for me, for example, this discussion is going to be a game changer because with each bottle, with each PET bottle that I'm going to buy, I will think, okay, 1 out of 2 will end up polluting something. So
I'm going to give you a good news now because just a couple of 1 or 2 weeks ago, anyway, the government issued an ordinance with a law which is going to implement the deposit system. That means each plastic bottle, PET bottles or aluminum can is going to carry a deposit, 0.5 RON. That means when you go to the shop to buy water, you are going to pay there the deposit, 0.5 lei per bottle. And the next time when you come back to buy again water, you have to bring the old bottles and put it there in a device, in the reverse vending machine, and you get back the money. Or you use it. So this system is working perfectly in Europe. It's working in Croatia. Okay, in Croatia the system is managed by the state, but it's still working. They have a efficiency of about 90% of collection.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
It's working in Germany. It's working in Norway. It's working in Holland. It's working in many countries. In Germany, for instance, the collection rate for PET bottles is 94%. That means they are collecting 94% of the bottles, PET bottles, because of this system, this deposit system. So we are going to have, starting to October next year, this system in force. Hopefully, the people involved in this system will do their job to come through.
Exactly, because it's like in any other business or in any other industry. If you have some skin in the game, so if it impacts me directly, if the product gets a bit more expensive, if I'm getting some money in returns, then I'm going to be more responsible. Because at the end of the day, unfortunately, and I would assume that it's because everyone has, I don't know, 100% on their plate, so they have a lot of things on their mind. They're not thinking about that. For example, I admit I was ignorant because I didn't know that 1 out of 2 bottles gets thrown away in the landfill, and less than 10% of any plastic that we are consuming.
Overall, the plastic, I don't think is more than 10% in Romania. But you know, we are the humans. Unfortunately, this is the truth. We can do the things only with the constriction. Yeah?
Exactly.
We follow the law because we have the penalty. I don't know, driving or taxes, whatever. So here it should be the same. And we did not invent this, Romania. Actually, we can see this is happening in the Western countries. Yeah, I always spoke about that to the authorities. You are missing one of the most important things. I know it's not very popular, which is the fine actually.
Exactly.
Yeah? Which is the fine actually. Yeah. If the people they don't understand, that's the situation. And we did not, as I said, we did not invent this. We can look to the Western country and we see how they are cleaner than us.
I assume that at the end of the day, it's only a matter of copying and implementing what worked. I know that I was talking with a very good friend about hospitals, and we shouldn't invent a system of, I don't know, healthcare or things like that. We should only copy things that work. That's the advantage of not having something, is that you can build from scratch only following the examples that worked. If you had something that is not working, right now it meant that the hassle of changing something is going to be a bit more complicated or need a bit more effort. But if we have nothing, for example, if we recycle less than 10%, it means that the recycling business can start from scratch or can start with a very big potential, right? That's coming back to Romcarbon and to the plastic industry and everything, all of those discussions that are very complex. Tell me a bit of how it started, or how did you decide to invest in this company or to develop this company?
Okay, so basically Romcarbon was a state-owned company, and it's almost 70 years now. Yeah, and our investor, that's our shareholder, in the beginning we sold a machine to Romania market. Yeah, and then our founder came to Romania, and at that moment, more than 20 years ago, we saw it's a great opportunity in Romania. Yeah, so that's why we decided to invest in Romania. So in the beginning, we starting from a small company. Actually, we were the competitor of Romcarbon in the past.
Understood.
Yeah. That's a big part of activity. We have a competition, and but because it was a state-owned company, so maybe the efficiency is not so good. So in time, we acquired the majority share of Romcarbon, and then we step in the management.
Exactly, because I assume that if you are seeing a potential, and I think that can be a solution for most of the companies, if you see an opportunity of making them more, efficient or scaling the business, because as I say, the potential I see is huge, right? Because and we're not talking about the potential, we are talking about the need that we have, right? Because we have the need of recycling the other 90-something% that is not recycling. What are the business areas that you are covering with Romcarbon?
So basically, Romcarbon, we started as a carbon business. I mean, from the history point of view. So Romcarbon actually is a producer of active carbon, the filter, and also the gas mask. So even till today, we still produce those products. But this part become a very small, let's say, percentage of our business. So mainly our business now is for plastic processing, which is taking around 80%. If we are talking about turnover, it's around 80% of our activity. And then we have this new business of plastic recycle. Yeah, and how we see in the future is we would like to focus more on the plastic recycle activity. Yeah, so in short, you can see we process plastic, and also we try to recycle it and to close this circle. To close this loop.
Exactly. Basically, you are closing the loop, right? So
yes, this is our target. Yes.
We want to offer to the market products with recycled material.
Understood. And if the product contains 100% recycled material, then it means that we didn't put anything out of the loop, let's say. Yeah. So that's the perfect scenario, right?
Yeah, that's a perfect scenario, ideally speaking. Yeah. So when you mention about the plastic, I think plastic actually is coming from a natural resource. Only it takes time to dissolve, to be degrade. Yeah, but in time, the quantity of plastic becomes so big, and then eventually pollute our nature, the ocean, and so on. So here, when we talk about, let's say, if we are talking about the environmental issue, I always say there are 3 R's. So it's reduce, reuse, and recycle. So reduce means that each consumer, including you and me, we should be responsible for our consumption behavior. We should buy the thing we need, not buy the thing we want, because sometimes you probably overspend, and then you buy something you don't need. Eventually go to the landfill, or it become the waste. and to reuse. For example, now I think most of people, they go to supermarket with their shopping bag, so they are reusing it compared with the past. Past people take a plastic bag for free or very low cost, then they throw it away. It becomes a waste. So this is what people, like a normal consumer, can do. And then it comes to recycle. So recycle, this part comes to the industry. And with the focus to the environmental issue, the modern technology now is more and more capable to recycle as much as we could from those plastic waste. So like you say, eventually the best scenario is that we recycle everything.
Exactly,
yeah.
Exactly. And I assume, for example, what Christy said earlier, that it's everyone's responsibility.
Yes.
There are a lot of people that are saying, okay, it's the fault of the big producers of plastic or big consumers of plastic.
Yes, yes.
But we are forgetting about us. It's like we are very hypocrite, let's say, at the end of the day, because
yes.
we are not thinking on what we are throwing out in the nature. We are thinking, okay, or the fact that we are driving cars that are consuming a lot of fuel or things like that. And the paradox here is that the producer is the only one doing something. And there are very few consumers that are actually doing something.
Yes,
so that's why I assume that it's a very big part and a very big involvement that companies like you need to do and need to have, because otherwise it's, and I would say that at the end of the day, it's a matter of social communication and social responsibility to everyone, right? So do you see any involvement of, I don't know, NGOs or authorities or things like that in social responsibility to reduce the consumption, to reuse and recycle, as you said?
I think actually media like you can play a very important role here, to give the, let's say, correct concept to the consumer. So in the beginning, you mentioned about the, let's say, the mixed impression about the plastic. So indeed, now it's easy. Everybody point the finger on the plastic industry because it's easy to find someone guilty, so put all the blame on it. But that's the reason the plastic can survive for so long. Because, for example, what's the alternative for plastic? Let's say glass. Then did you consider the transportation cost? Because compared with a glass bottle and plastic bottle, clearly you need to pay higher transportation cost. And
higher emission.
Exactly, there's a CO2 emission there. Okay, I replace this with a paper. Then how about the forest? You need to cut the forest to have a paper.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I think every material has its reason to exist till now. Plastic is not a new material. It's a material for almost 100 years. So it's a reason to stay. So important is how, like Christy said, is how you use a plastic and how you recycle it. So if everybody is doing the right things, I think the plastic could be a sustainable material, same like glass or plastic. Yeah, only now it's very easy for people to say, because the plastic will last for 100 years, so it's not environmental friendly.
Exactly. So if you think, let's say, if we raise the bar high, or if we raise a bit above the level of understanding, I'd say that if we go to 100%, or as close as we go to 100% of our own consumption of plastic being reused or being recycled, then we are solving an issue that right now seems to be a big issue, right? And Christy, a curiosity to you and a question that I have. How did the food industry and the food packaging changed in the last years? And the need and the recycling of the packaging?
Maybe I can answer a little bit. Yeah.
Of course.
So indeed, after the outbreak of a pandemic, the people used to eat at home. They take a food delivery. And so if you from our industry, for example, from a Romcarbon point of view, if we are talking about the catering tray, the sales increase around 25%. So it means more people, they try to do the food delivery at home. And this certainly increases the use of, let's say, plastic package. Yeah.
Exactly. I was thinking that was a bit more than 25% or way more. But
Yes.
It's good that it was only 25%.
Yes.
Yeah, but the solution here is to have to use reusable packaging. Yeah, not single use, because as we talked before about recyclability of the products.
And also that 25%, I'm speaking from, let's say, Romcarbon point of view.
Exactly.
That we provide the plastic-based material. But of course, there are also consumption from the paper tray, from the tray made of a sugar cane. I believe there's a big increase. Yeah.
Understood.
But overall, indeed, there's a huge increase from this point of view.
I can say for last year that from what Leon said from this point of view was growing, but overall the year was not a good year for the business, also for the industry, because other domain was because of the lockdown last year. I can say let's say last year I would share it in two parts. Was the first half of the year with the lockdown, where the market was shrink a lot. Not talking about the catering, as you said, but generally speaking, the market was shrink a lot. And then in the second half of the year, the market started a little bit to be revived. And this year, it comes with a lot of surprises. Prices increasing for a lot of material, for the resources, for the energy, and so on. So let's say the past 2 years, pandemic period was unbelievable. It go from one extreme to other extreme, actually. And
exactly, and
we learned a lot of lessons in this period.
Totally agree. It was a surprise for me. For example, yesterday I went to a Forbes event, to Gala 500, and I saw a rent-a-car company that earned more money last year and did a bigger profit. I was amazed. I was like, how is this possible? Because the tourism decreased, for sure. Yes. I think that's obvious. We didn't move as much, but they managed somehow by transforming the business. What were the main challenges in this period for Romcarbon and for you? Like in Buzău, or in maybe there are particular challenges that you had there, or like in Romania or in other markets?
So as I said, the period, I would split the period into parts. The first part, the challenges was, of course, to sell the products, because
the demand,
the demand, because the market was shrinked. Yeah. The second part of the pandemic period is to manage in this rapid price increases of the materials. Yeah, you have to take care about the cost. You have to care about the different things. And of course, it comes back a big problem, which was also before pandemic, which is the manpower in Romania. Romania is facing a big problem with the finding the manpower. Yeah, a lot of Romanian people go working abroad.
And are you bringing resources from outside Romania, workers from other markets?
No. We are
thinking about.
We are thinking about, but we are counting on our local. Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen in the future, but we do not exclude this possibility. Because for the moment, we count on the local people there.
Perfect. Because I saw a lot of companies that, and on one side, I see it natural, right? There are employees from Romania going to work a bit more to the west, so it's a migration from east to the west. They are going to work a bit more to the west for more money, I don't know, better conditions. There are people coming a bit more from the east to work in Romania for better conditions, a bit more money. So I assume it's a good fact, because it opens opportunities for everyone. But I know the challenges that are any company is facing right now. So
it's a general problem in Romania with the manpower. No matter which industry you are asking this question, all of them, they will tell you they are facing difficulties.
Exactly. Imagine being in the, let's say, digital industry and IT industry, that the market is fully liberalized. Yeah. So everyone can work for any other company all around the world. So it's like the challenge is even bigger, but also the opportunity is even bigger, because then you can hire also from all around the world by, I don't know, opening a computer and that's it. They are working for you now.
You can hire for all around the world, but actually, if you want to hire from the outside European Union, you need the approvals to
Yes,
come.
always right.
Inside of European Union, it's easier to circulate the manpower.
Yeah. I think part of our activity is still labor intensive. So I think same like all the other company that we have to adapt the change according to the market evolution. So there are certain position maybe you simply couldn't find the people from Romania who would like to do this activity. So for that one, maybe in time we will consider to find a worker from the other country. Yeah, that's for sure. Depend on the, let's say, the availability of a working force and also about the cost. And I would say during this pandemic period, one of the most, let's say, challenges to ensure the health of our employee. Yeah, because you mostly know the vaccination rate is still very low in Romania. So this one bring a big concern. So if one employee is infected, so it might spread this problem to his colleague, then in the pressure of, let's say, low availability of a working force, this is another challenge on the top of it.
It's way higher, yes.
Yeah, exactly, okay. Yes. Yeah, and then for the rest, I think same like all the other company, we are facing the challenge every day, but this pandemic issue is something no one experienced before, so that's why we need to take the extra care, yes.
Exactly. The times that the time that we are living is very interesting.
Right. Yeah.
From the retention point of view and keeping the employees happy, having tracks or things like that, what are you doing? What are the main things that differentiate you from any other employer from the region? Because you are a big employer, right? And you keep people and you find people. So I assume that you do something good.
I would not say that that we do. I would just say we do different than maybe the Romanian company, because maybe the cultural background is somehow different. So at least from Romcarbon point of view, I think we respect our local colleagues. So for example, there are only 3 employees in Romcarbon. We have 1,400 employees, but only 3 employees are not Romanian. The rest, they are all Romanian. So basically, we fully authorize to our local manager, and we give them the biggest respect. So I think maybe this is a little bit different than Romanian company. I think we are thinking you have to show your respect to your employee, then your employee can have a trust in you, and they feel they belong to the company also. But of course, like all the other companies, eventually, especially for the lower position employee, the key is the salary and the benefit. Yeah, so this part we try to match the market level. But for the more important position or for the managers, I think this one we try to, like what I say, we communicate with them, we give them the full right to decide the activity, and we just try to assist them. So we are more like we are not like a subordinate to each other. We are more like a colleague in the same level. So this is what we try to do.
Exactly. We should learn and we should pay attention on things like that, like you said, the responsibility. Yes. So owning your decision and things like that.
Right.
We should have an eye on this and see how we can transform to the consumption of plastic. So to have the ones responsible for their own action and their own decision.
Exactly.
Everyone to be responsible for that.
I would like to add actually now in the past years, if we lose people from Romcarbon group, is because they go outside, abroad, sorry. We don't really lose too much going to other companies in Romania. That means the people are somehow enjoying to work in Romcarbon. Otherwise, they are now free to go everywhere. Yeah.
Exactly. I saw a lot of companies, and also to the gala that I was mentioning before, I saw a lot of companies doing a lot of things digital-wise, let's say, because I saw diamonds being sold a lot more online than offline. I saw, I don't know, all sort of companies selling all sort of products. And I myself, I'm in this industry since 2007.
Yes.
And in 2007 in Romania was insane to try to think on selling other products than I don't know, ITNC was so there are some people thinking on selling that. But nowadays I see a lot of companies having orders, having all of those. What changed in your company? So you started to take digital orders, or to take orders, to integrate, or to invest more in this area?
Yes, I mean, indeed, it's been 21 centuries. I mean, it's already 2021. So e-commerce and the digital platform is very important for all the business. But for our case, somehow still very much we rely on the conventional way of doing the business, because most of our clients, they are let's say the distributor, or they are the factory themselves. Rarely we sell to the end user or end clients. So most of our products, some of them is tailor-made. So you need lots of communication about the specification, the technical characteristic. So it's hard to just put our product online and the client just buy it like this way. So we certainly try to present our product, but most of our clients, they will know, okay, you can provide such product. Then they will approach you with the email communication, with the telephone discussion. Then eventually they will nail down what product they really need, and also like a delivery turn and the price. Eventually, it's quite important for our clients. Yeah.
Understood. So for the moment, you don't have...
I would like to add something about, because digitalization means much more than the e-commerce, you know. And we in Romcarbon, we have already implemented an ERP, yeah. And for instance, we have some customers, big companies as well, which now we are discussing this year that how to interact our ERP with their program for a certain products, yeah, in order to be easy to be seen when the stock is in the, yeah. This we have already discussion for this. And besides what I mentioned about, it's also the management of the wastage in Romania is now implementing a system, digital system to control the wastage. You know, actually you have to control everything. You know very well, for instance, in ANAF, we are losing about 30% of the VAT every year. Yeah. If we would have digitalization there, probably we wouldn't lose this 30%. Exactly. So that means you, me, all of us, we are paying the VAT, but actually doesn't go to the state because somewhere is lost in the road. Yes, it need much more to do in this direction. And as I said, as also Leon said, we are already in this road. Yeah, nice. And we do believe that this is required.
Understood. And also, do you have plans on expanding in other markets or in other segments, for example? Because I saw companies, I wouldn't say similar, but at least from the product's point of view, that when they are producing something, they are putting the products in batches or in big quantities or whatever, available in a digital platform for other markets. So let's say you have the people that are communicating directly with your customers and are taking the orders, but also you have some products that you are producing, right, and you are selling. So then the easiest way for companies like that are doing this is to put the products out there and then, okay, let's go to other markets and just have the products there, because then the consumers that want, other companies that want those products can find it.
Okay, in our business domain, if you talk about other market than plastics, or in the same plastics
in the same. Maybe other verticals or other markets like outside Romania.
No, outside Romania we're already present. We are selling our goods all over Europe, and no matter it's a plastic products or the recycled material, we deliver from Romania up to Spain, for instance, in Europe, or in the north countries of Romania. We do have plan to integrate in our profile, in our business profile, actually. Yeah, we have in the recycling, for instance, intention to do some more products. We are now growing, developing plastics for special plastic for automotive industry, because automotive industry, they start using more and more plastics. If 5 years ago or 10 years ago, if we ask a car maker that, do you want to use recycled material? No, the answer was no. Now the position is totally different. We have our material, recycled material, go for instance to home appliances. Yeah, you buy a vacuum cleaner which might contain our material there, which you don't see it, but it's there. We have this kind of the project to integrate our material and to develop new material out of the plastics wastage we are collecting. As we discussed before to enter in this podcast, in our business in recycling, we don't have only one problem, because usually a business, they concern more about the customer. You have the customer, then the other things are solved. Here in our recycling business, we have two problems. We need a customer, but in the meantime, you need the wastage. So we have to run for the wastage. You have to find the wastage. You have to convince, in Romania, you have to convince the collection company to collect more and to collect cleaner. I mentioned before about the protection of this. So we have two headaches, actually, not only one. Customer, we have also customer and suppliers.
Exactly, because at the end of the day, those are your customers as well, because you are convincing them to do those things as well.
We are between two customers. I always say to my colleagues, look guys, I don't have the satisfaction like any other business to have a supplier waiting for me in front of the door. No, I have to treat both like my customer.
Yeah, totally agree.
Yeah.
I think to increase the visibility in the other market, clearly now they said digital, let's say, commerce is quite important, because it's true the young generation, they also try to do the source online. Yeah, so they're sourcing their supplier online, they're sourcing whatever is possible they can by one click. Yeah, so certainly for a certain product, we will consider to introduce this modern way of doing business. But we will still depend on the, let's say, the specialty of each product. We have to make a plan on it. But clearly, this is the tendency. Yeah.
As I said, we have a ERP implemented at least 10 years ago, even more, I think.
Yeah, but I believe, Cristi, you are talking more about marketing, no?
Yes, about the digital orders.
Also, this is digital, because if you talk about e-commerce, you know, our products, not all of them, they are destined to the end user like a citizen. So they are more to the companies. It's not that easy like you buy a mobile phone or you buy a IT or a computer or something like that.
Totally
but for us, digitalization, as I said, it means much more than e-commerce.
Totally agree. I was discussing the other days with a very good friend of mine that supplies a lot of products to clinics, to hospitals, and he said to me he needs a digital platform. He came to me and said, man, I need a digital platform, because if you want to open tomorrow a clinic, you have no idea where to go and buy your equipment. And if you go and search online, because that's, for example, as you said, people are getting, let's say the ones that are deciding or the ones that are doing the business plans are from other generations, or at least they are used to search online, right? So if tomorrow I decide to do a business like that, for sure I will do some research online, right? For sure I will discuss with other companies. But if, for sure there is the way of going to distributors, right? The suppliers, the distributors that are distributing those equipments. But he said, okay, but what about the ones that are going online? You cannot find any product to buy online. So he wants to open a marketplace to go and put all the producers there. Okay, and I have let's say the platform where if you open a clinic tomorrow, then you are going to buy those things. And I gave him an example that is already working, a customer of ours in the United States. He said the same with gym. He said, okay, if tomorrow you are going to open a gym, where are you buying from? You can buy directly from the producers, but then you won't have the variety, you won't have all the product at once. So he started a marketplace that became huge. And I was asking, and I was thinking more about like this context. Okay, if tomorrow I'm going to produce, I don't know, laptops or things like that I would need materials.
I can share with you some information because 1 month ago I have attended a conference in Bratislava and I was approached there by somebody which they want to create a platform by something, let's say, for the recycled material. And they approached me and I showed them our availability for cooperating to this. You are right. Yes, you are right. This is really required. It's really required by the end user actually.
Exactly. Because the end user, it's a factory that uses your materials, or it's a company that uses the materials in order to, I don't know, do some things.
It's a platform, or you can choose. You can have if you want to recycle material, you go to that platform or to that platform. But then you can find whatever you want, whatever you need.
Exactly, and as more information is put out there online in the immediate access to the consumer gets a bit more responsible, right? So they see that those things are happening. You are touching more consumers, like the ones, because you said, okay, that people from Buzău are more responsible than people from Bucharest. I'm 100% sure that that's true. Because they are working there, because there is a company there doing that, because there is a company doing recycling, and there is the number of people involved in that company, because they are in Bucharest for sure, is on a percentual level, it's more than in big cities, right? Because the population is less and the percentage of the people is working there is a bit more, right?
So everything what it can make the things easier, everything what can make the less, how to say, the more efficient transportation, it's more than needed for our goal. Our goal to be neutral from the point of view of CO2 emission. Because coming back to what we discussed before about the Green Deal, what it actually means, Green Deal, that we want until 2050 to become neutral from the point of view of emission, CO2 emission. Why? Because now we have too much, our balance is negative. We emit more CO2 than the Earth can consume.
Exactly.
Yeah. And what's going to happen? As you said, today we are somewhere more than 400 ppm CO2 in the atmosphere. And the more we add, this level will be increased. That means the more energy is going to be retained to the Earth's atmosphere. And it's going to come, as we said, in a lot of disasters.
Exactly. Hitting us back really bad, right?
Yeah.
To end in a very optimistic way, let's say, or in a very fun way. What do you guys do for like hobbies or things like your pleasures in life, or to get a bit more relaxed, or to go away from the day-to-day activities?
Okay, so for me, I have already used to a routine to wake up earlier and do a little bit home exercising. So basically, this is my daily routine. Yeah, and if you are talking about for the holiday, because I have lots of friends or family need to visit, so usually I take the convenience of a long vacation, or for example, back to Asia or visit my other friends in Western Europe. So, but also recently I find it very nice to explore some village in Romania. I found it's very nice. You have a very nice village in the Transylvania area with nice nature. The people are friendly, open-minded.
Exactly.
So it's very nice.
In Buzău area, I go very often off-roading. So there are a lot of tracks there and a lot of very nice places.
Yes. To be honest, I like more the countryside of Romania than the big city. Yes.
Exactly. You, Cristi?
I'm a strange guy because actually I enjoy astronomy. Yeah, I'm the guy which when in the night going outside and study the sky, and this is also helping me trying to understand how the Earth is working, how the Earth is functioning. Yeah, this is my hobby, astronomy. Yeah,
amazing and a very nice one. Many thanks, guys, for your presence in Complex Made Simple. I can't wait to close the loop so we consume 100% of recycled plastic, so we don't add anything more out there. And I wish you best of luck in helping us.
So next time when you come to Buzău for off-roading, you come to visit us. You are going to see a factory recycling the wastage.
Perfect. Many thanks.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you.
Nu, chiar am ajuns să discutăm despre smart, adică probabil că știi și tu, acum câțiva ani, 5, 6, 7 ani, ca să poți să-ți faci o casă smart, trebuia să o faci de când o construiei. Nu mai e așa, acum, cel puțin în gama noastră de produse, n-ai nevoie nici măcar de un hub. Singurul lucru de care ai nevoie este o conexiune Wi-Fi la internet și aplicația care evident e gratuită în, nu știu, cred că 50 de limbi în momentul de față. Adică în România zic eu că avem o prezență relativ bună, relativ ok. Evident că mai este loc de dezvoltare și în România, dar pe măsură ce, spun eu, consolidăm prezența din România, căutăm să ne extindem în afara țării. Suntem prezenți în 25 de țări deja. Orice om e bun sau în orice om există ceva bun. E important să reușești să scoți acel bun din el.